What is your favourite Iron Maiden song?
Aces High. Play the clip and let's just get on with the video. Iron Maiden are mostly known for three things: thundering guitar riffs, Bruce fucking Dickinson's voice, and the fact they have album artwork so metal the TSA won't even let you take it on a plane. In regards to the latter, did you know that originally the artwork for Number of the Beast was going to be used for a single? When the band's manager found out, he was all like, no, fuck that, everybody has to see this shit. So Brad, before we talk about Iron Maiden and this album artwork and how kick-ass it is, let's just put the album artwork itself behind me so everyone can just have a look at it to remind themselves of how awesome and baller it is. And I'm even going to stand like a weatherman, just point to it, all the various things. And like, here's the devil, and here's Dead Eddie, the mascot of Iron Maiden, just controlling him like a puppet. And here's Iron Maiden's name. And do you know what always pissed me off? I'm going to bring this up now. Do you remember when you were a kid, British people watching this, because people are saying I'm mental and this thing isn't real. When you were a kid before you went to school, was there a guy who did the weather who stood on a big floating rubber British Isles? And he stood on a lake and he was walking up and down a rubber fake Britain and he'd point to where various things were and he said that's where the weather's going to happen.
There was a map on the floor and he would walk around it and point at things.
Yeah, but he floated on like a little lake, didn't it, outside BBC's offices or something.
I don't remember that.
People say I'm making this up and I remember it being real. This is real. I'm not going insane. This pisses me off because every time I bring it up and I say, oh yeah, do you remember the weather with the guy who used to walk around the big floating rubber British Isles on a lake? And people are like, no, that's not real. Like, it is real, I remember it.
I'm going to guess that it wasn't an actual weather report. This was in some kind of kids' TV show.
It better not have been. People fight. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know on Twitter, because that's been pissing me off for fucking ages. Typing in Big Rubber Britain, don't bring that up.
I think it brings some stuff up.
It brings some stuff up, but not what I'm looking for. Anyway, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, looking at it now, that album artwork is an absolute masterpiece.
It's so good, isn't it? And like all of Iron Maiden's best singles and albums, that was painted by, friend of the band and large penis owner, Derek Riggs.
Out of interest, do we happen to know where that design came from?
According to Riggs, he was given a single line of direction by the band that inspired that artwork, and that line of direction was, who's pulling the strings? And apparently it is just their mascot, Dead Eddie. It's like, fuck you, devil, Dead Eddie's up in this shit. But we have to... That album artwork is so good. And I think if you think metal album, something by Iron Maiden just jumps into your head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I've always been annoyed that they've never done, well, maybe they have, but I've not personally been aware of it, album artwork in museums and shit like that. Because I would very happily go see blown up versions of famous album artworks just to appreciate them for what they are. And I'm not talking like those really artsy fartsy ones, like the John Lennon one and shit like that, or Abbey Road. No, fuck that. That's four guys walking across a road. That's not cool. Do you know what is cool? This shit. I want to see this. I want to go in and just see, okay. And I want the really stuffy art person to be walking up behind me. Okay, so we've gone past Number of the Beast, and as you can see, the subtle play of light and shadow dancing between the devil and the mascot for the band Iron Maiden. And he goes, and here we have a piece by the band Dragon Force. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Get in there, lad. That'd be fucking sick. But no, instead, whenever you hear, oh yeah, we're doing a museum piece on art from music, they always do, here's a picture of Jimi Hendrix smoking a cigarette, and you're like, that's cool. But I don't really give a fuck. I want to see the devil. I want to see some Iced Earth album covers in that shit. I want to see some Sabaton. I don't want to see fucking John Lennon getting hugged by his wife when they're both naked on a bed. That's not art. That's just some dickhead vanity project.
Art goes through phases. I hope the next phase is finding pieces of artwork from the past that haven't got the recognition they deserve. Because the current galleries... Album covers, yeah. But things like the artwork they use on Magic the Gathering cards, they're fantastic. Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, Komori Dragon.
Yeah.
Nah, Komori Dragon's the worst artwork. Komori Dragon is the laziest artwork ever, because it's a dragon. Well, they only drew it with 2 feet, so it's just a dragon head and 2 feet. But it really annoys me that, with the way music is now, no one really tries for album covers anymore. And I think the one that always springs to mind is Ed Sheeran's. I don't know what it is, but it's just a big X on a blue background. You're like, oh, come on, Ed Sheeran.
It's because all of his different albums are named after the various symbols. So he just puts the symbol on. But then that's probably so I've put the effort in.
It's so lazy. And then you think, do you know what I want to come back? I want to come back those really shitty hip-hop ones. Have you ever seen any of these?
Which ones?
I forget what the name of the thing is. I'll look it up later and I'll tell you. But just to illustrate what I mean, just putting behind me the album cover for Big Bear, Doing Things. And you will know what I mean, because that is the greatest album cover known to man. And what Brad's going to do now, off camera, is type in, on my laptop, type it in, Brad. Type in Big Bear Doing Things, and we're going to wait for his reaction to the album cover, because I guarantee you it will be what mine was, which is raucous laughter. You found it yet, Brad? We found Big Bear Doing Things. Is it not the best album ever? It's a bear drinking out of a pimp chalice. Wearing big sunglasses. It's the best. Why can't we have that in the Tate Modern? Baby nurse? No, fuck off cutting a shark in half, putting a formaldehyde. That's pretty metal. Do you know what's better though? Big Bear Doing Things. That thing is art. That's like, we're watching the accidental creation of high art with album covers like that. That's amazing.
What am I looking at?
You're looking at the next level of music. That's what you're looking at, Brad. Right. Anyway, you've distracted us enough now talking about Big Bear Doing Things. Let's continue.
Yeah, my bad.
Let's continue talking about the Iron Maiden album cover. As I noted previously, the artwork for Number of the Beast was originally going to be used on a single, specifically a single called Purgatory, a decidedly Iron Maiden-ish song, notable for being the last Iron Maiden single released featuring the singer Paul Di'Anno. Paul Di'Anno himself is mostly notable for doing so many drugs that the band replaced him with Bruce fucking Dickinson. So a nice story all round there, isn't it?
How can you be doing so many drugs in a metal band that you have to be replaced?
The thing is though, imagine how many drugs you were doing for like a band like Iron Maiden. It's like, guys, stop. Dude, stop. If you don't, we're going to bring in Bruce Dickinson. He's right over there, trained to get his pilot's licence. So I love that about Bruce Dickinson. People don't know Bruce Dickinson's a trained airline pilot. And when the band go on tour, he flies them around. Because he used to work for, I think it's Astraeus Airlines, who are now defunct. But when he went on tour, he'd just call up his boss and say, yeah, can I borrow a plane? And the guy, well, you are Bruce fucking Dickinson. So the answer is, of course you can borrow a fucking plane. And this is a true fucking story. And you put the picture behind me. Astraeus Airlines, as a favour to the band, put Iron Maiden livery on the plane for them. And when the plane went back into service, Astraeus Airlines were going to take it off. But so many fans of the band went, no, I want to ride on the Iron Maiden plane. So they kept it on. So you could go on a commercial flight and you'd have Iron Maiden livery down the side. And here's the best bit, I'm not making this up. When the plane landed, I think, Africa, people there thought the plane was haunted and refused to get on it. And then Astraeus like, oh no, we'll get another plane then if you don't want to fly on this one. And they said, no, it's cursed all the other planes, and it shut down the airport. So they had to take the livery off because people thought the plane was haunted. If that's not the most Iron Maiden-esque metal shit ever, I don't know what is. A plane that people looked at and went, just the imagery of Iron Maiden like artwork on the side of a plane made people go, it's haunted. I'm not getting on that plane, that's cursed. And the thing is though, who wouldn't want to ride the cursed plane? That sounds awesome. Just fly that shit over the Vatican and just watch the Pope burst into flames, man. That'd be awesome.
So what happened with the album artwork?
Well, as I mentioned, the artist Derek Rigg was commissioned by the band to create it for that single Purgatory. However, when the band's manager, Mr. Rod Smallwood, saw it, he took it to the band and went, yeah, guys, this is too good. And that's an exact quote, by the way, too good to waste on a single. We have to make this the cover of your next album. We need to get Riggs to make some more artwork for Purgatory because I'm not wasting this.
What was that manager's name?
Rod Smallwood.
Any relation?
What, you mean Uncle Rod? No. It's nice to know that Uncle Rod's doing something with his life, isn't it? He's not actually my uncle, by the way, but people are going to assume anyway, so fuck it. It's a very rare last name, I guess.
He's also got the first name, Rod.
Oh, man.
Like,
Rod.
you're feeling a bit
Rod
inferior
Smallwood.
now. If you were Rod Smallwood, you'd have even more jokes to make about
Rodney Smallwood. The thing is, that's a right name, isn't it? Rod.
Rod Wood.
Rod Wood. Look at that. With the band being unwilling to use that artwork for a single because they quite rightly asserted that the world just wasn't ready for that much metal to enter their lives, they commissioned Riggs to create another piece of artwork for Purgatory, which means, amongst other things, that this piece of artwork is something that Riggs farted out in an afternoon.
So that's also better than most of the shit you get in museums these days.
Do you know what, though? If Ed Sheeran put it on the front of his album, I'd buy it. People always say you never judge a book by its cover. But when I'm scrolling through Spotify for like a new band to listen to, usually I'll look for a cool piece of album artwork and say, oh wow, this band obviously cares enough about the album to commission an artist rather than just taking a photo in black and white of their own face, a la every pop musician today. So that's not like, if you commission a piece of artwork, that means like, yeah, the music is bigger than I am, not I'm bigger than the music. And there's only a few artists who can get away with stuff like that. And it's so frustrating to me. It's like, you couldn't even pay a guy to just draw you a picture.
The one that annoyed me recently was the one of the new 30 Seconds to Mars albums. They got Damien Hirst.
Oh, the famous Damien Hirst, like the Crystal Skull shark from
what he did? He did a sequence of dots.
Okay.
It was literally a grid of dots that are different colours, and that was his artwork. And presumably they paid him probably $1 million at least.
Loads of money. Damien Hirst don't crawl out of bed unless you're paying 10 grand for it.
Yeah, and obviously they used it. And I was like, well, I mean, presumably they're using it because it carries the name Damien Hirst, but it was literally a piece of garbage. I don't know if there's
modern art.
I don't know if there's meant to be some kind of extra message to it, because I studied modern art. I did that in one of my.
No one studies modern art. We're all forced to look at it and we just fart our own asses.
You just pretend.
It's all smelling your own farts. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where yes, this broken fucking barbecue conveys the emotion of pure unadulterated rage, and it's just Homer charging at it with a fucking umbrella.
You always find a way to get the Simpsons in every single one, don't you?
Because he's got the best line in it. It's like, one artist covered the Reichstag in umbrellas. It's like, not the Reichstag! Killer umbrellas, eh? The rest, as we probably all know, is history. Number of the Beast went on to become one of Iron Maiden's most critically and commercially successful albums of all time, though it wasn't without its controversy.
Yeah, I think we've all heard of the controversy.
Yes, but for anyone who isn't aware of the controversies surrounding the band Iron Maiden, back in the 1980s especially, a lot of conservative Christian groups thought their music was satanic in nature, not realising that makes it sound metal as all balls. And they specifically criticised the album Number of the Beast as being especially satanic for, invoking the number of the beast, 666.
What was their problem with that particular album?
Well, they thought, obviously, naming it something like that would turn children to, the devil or Satanism or something like that, which I always found baffling about this album in particular, because it's called Number of the Beast, sure, but the album artwork itself shows the band's mascot, and by extension, the band, making the devil dance like their bitch. And if you're worried about your child succumbing to the devil's music, surely the best band to ward them away from Satan's influence is a band who are openly bragging about the fact they don't give a fuck about the devil and that he works for them via the medium of a genre of music, heavy metal, that we know he listens to. Because that's the thing, isn't it? They always say, heavy metal, the devil's music, which means that the devil must listen to it. And Iron Maiden, in one of their albums that the devil's presumably got on his iPod, his hell pod, he's looking at it and it's like, they're saying I'm their bitch. I guess I am, because this album's pretty good, that riff's pretty sick. Who better to get your kids safe from Satan? If you listen to Iron Maiden, you're protected by that anti-Satan aura. But it's just the idea of heavy metal's the devil's music. What makes it so, it's loud. Yeah, because I've heard some church organs, they're well quiet then. So what specifically about heavy metal? These bands they invoke imagery of Satan. It's because it's badass and awesome. It's no one wants to put angels on the cover unless it's Archangel Michael. Because that guy is a fucking sick-ass baller pimp. He's the guy who ripped the wings off of Lucifer. Do you know Lucifer's always pictured as an angel with no wings? That's because Archangel Michael ripped his fucking wings off. And if you find pictures of statues of Michael, it's him getting the devil in a wrestling move, tearing his wings off. So yeah, more bands should either keep if you want to break out of the genre, put Archangel Michael on your fucking cover because that guy's sick awesome. But other than that, I don't get it. It's weird.
I find it weird you say Archangel.
Archangel. Archangel. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Oh, it's whatever.
It doesn't really matter.
Who gives a fuck? We're correct on our pronunciation either way. But hey, all that's ancient history. Now we've just got a kick-ass album with some really awesome artwork to listen to. Isn't life fun? So earlier in the video, we briefly touched on the idea of displaying album artwork in a museum. And if you're at home and you want to join in, suggest some cool artwork in the comments, I guess. But Brad, what artwork for an album do you feel deserves to be in a museum, to be seen by the people?
I think one of my favourite ones was the one they used for Rise of the Phoenix, the Tenacious D.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Describe
it to me, Brad. Use your words. Paint me a picture.
You have to go to the shop to buy it, and it's censored. It's got a sticker over the front of it, and when you take it off, you realise what they've done is it's got a phoenix on the front, like the beautiful bird, the phoenix, but it's a cock and balls.
That's like the System of a Down one, isn't it? Steal this album, and they had to censor that when it was on display in a lot of shops because people just kept nicking it. So, I guess I better steal this album then. But a lot of mine have to be Rhapsody of Fire. All their albums are amazing. Because obviously they are pure. That's like the power metal in album form. It's what you need, man. Or I think Storm Warrior as well, who are a Viking metal band.
Definitely.
But I think the classic one that would need to go would be the centerpiece of all of these things would be Man of War, which is just this huge big buff dude with a sword and long hair just going, yeah. It's like you need that sometimes. Every now and again, you just need to see just this really shit artwork of a buff barbarian man screaming to the heavens.
Ailstorm albums are always amazing.
Oh yeah, the pirate metal band, if people don't know.
They're usually just skeleton pirates.
The thing is, if you're walking around museums, do you know what you have those things, that the audio tour things you can get? Every time you walk up to and this is a piece by Ailstorm, it should play you a piece from the thing.
Oh yeah.
So you can listen to the song and you go, oh, yeah, I guess this album artwork does convey the music I'm listening to now. That'd be really good. And you could do that with all genres. We only mentioned heavy metal and stuff because they usually put effort into their albums. Because why wouldn't you? Because it's awesome.
Most other bands will just have a picture of them in some particular
I hate
pose.
that. I hate the idea of or a self-titled album. Fuck that, man. I hate self-titled albums.
Because then they're really hard to search. Yeah. It's like the name of the person, then the name of the album.
Well, it's always the old joke, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to make a band and call it Unknown Artists and release our first album as Untitled Album and call every track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. And then call our when we go on tour, it's like called Show Cancelled. So yeah, it's a cool idea, but it's also bullshit. Just, if you name it something, give it a good image. Like, so when I go on my shelf and I see that cover for 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, I go, I get memories. When I look at my cover of like the greatest hits of Michael Jackson, I don't think, oh yeah, he's good. I just think, oh, it's just a picture of a dead guy. Awesome.
The ones I will accept of the pictures of the bands are the stupid ones. I remember a Bowling for Soup one where the 3 members are sat on like lounges next to a swimming pool, and the fat guy's belly flopping in.
So that's cool because they actually put effort in, rather than just like stand in soft lighting in black and white, looking off into the distance. It's the joke they make in South Park. Yeah. Just look off into the distance and put it in black and white and call it like Faith 1. It's, oh man,
+1.
Just put some effort in, man. It's not hard. There's plenty of artists on Twitter you can look up. Just type in on Twitter, I would need some artwork done. Your DMs will be filled with people wanting to do that for you. It's not hard, Albert. Like, oh man.
There's so many good artists out there now because we're interconnected with the entire world. You could literally just go on Twitter.
Well, no, instead I'm going to pay some shitty photographer thousands of pounds to take a picture of my face.
Or pay some famous artist to put loads of dots on a bit of paper. It annoys me so. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see if he said there's any more meaning behind.
Of course he did, because modern art you can make it whatever you want.
I know, but I want to hear what his interpretation of that is.
Probably shut up and pay me money. You don't talk to the fucking press, do
you? Yeah, I've seen a lot of Damien Hirst pieces of art.
It's all shit in it,
and because there was a bit where you could tell he can actually draw. Like he actually can draw properly, but these things were all like weird chairs with skulls on the floor, and you would not like the paintings, and they were like as high as this room, like twice. And like, what's the point? I see.
Imagine what something like Monet would do if he came back today. And he's like, oh, I'd like to see how art has evolved. And he goes and he just sees a fucking shark cut in half, and it's like. Or he goes to one of those modern art exhibitions. It's one where people just like strew cardboard boxes around or some shit like that. And he's like, is there a mess? Did you not clean this up? No, this is artwork. And he just his head explodes.
Do you not remember that case where someone actually cleaned up some thrown
people throw away modern art. I've wrote an article about it for today. I found out, which you can check out in the description below. Done.
Just end on plugging a different article.
Yeah, that's the one.